Bring in Dr. John Blaxland. He's an intelligence analyst at the Strategic Studies Centre at the ANU. John, good to talk to you this evening. Now, you made the point that there are positives and negatives out of today's operation. Let's start with the positive. Now, the Joint Counter-Terrorism Task Force, essentially, they were the ones that instituted this operation. That's a cooperation between Australian Federal Police and also interstate police. Why should we be so pleased and reassured that this operation has succeeded like this?
Well, I think what we've seen is a manifestation of an unprecedented level of coordination and collaboration between state and federal police and security agencies. I think this is pretty impressive, actually. It also comes only a few days after the raising of the threat alert across the country, and so it seems to be, from what we can see, pretty closely correlated to the work that the security and intelligence agencies have been doing, and then feeding that information to the executive arms of the state and federal government to act on. And we'll yet see whether or not that leads to convictions, but if the track record of the last 24 hours or so is to be taken as the precedent, then I think we're on the trajectory of significant arrests and a vindication of what David Irvine was talking about last week.
John Blaxland, picking up on what Andrew was saying here, what about the negatives of the operation?
The negatives are that we are facing a real challenge, and I think we have a real crisis of understanding here. My concern is that we don't really know what we're dealing with, and when we say that this is not about Islam, I think we have to recognise that there is a dimension to this that is about Islam, because the people who are involved in the so-called Islamic State claim to be devout. So somehow along the way, there is a perversion, if you like, or a manifestation of Islam that is pretty darn toxic. And we have to grapple with it. We can't pretend it's not there. We have to realise it's there and somehow come to understand it. And of course, in a post-Judeo-Christian secular society of Australia today, we grapple with understanding Christianity, let alone Islam. And this presents us as a society with a real challenge that I think we need to come to grips with.
So you're concerned then about the reaction from both the Muslim community and also the rest of the Australian community?
Absolutely, and I'm very concerned that some people in the European descendant Australian community will take this as an excuse to react in an adverse and unnecessarily over-the-top way. But at the same time, I think people in the Islamic community need to be looking long and hard at themselves and reflecting on what it is about their internal dynamics that is allowing this to manifest itself. We all need to reflect long and hard and find a way through that will actually come up with a plan, a path for us to find reconciliation and peace.